Welcome back to Stoic Wisdom. There is a quiet kind of strength that doesn't roar. It doesn't demand attention or need validation. True strength, as the Stoics understood, is subtle. It lies in restraint, in discipline, in the ability to endure the storms of life without complaint or collapse. While the world may applaud loud confidence and visible achievements, the wisest among us know that real strength reveals itself not in grand gestures, but in how we carry ourselves through the ordinary battles of life. 1. Of the greatest indicators of true inner strength is the ability to control one's emotions. In a world that often praises emotional outbursts as signs of passion or authenticity, the Stoic recognizes that the most powerful response is often silence, reflection, and calm action. When someone insults you, provokes you, or tries to ignite a reaction, the man who can remain composed and centered is the one who holds the real power. Emotional control doesn't mean suppression. It means mastering the self so deeply that you are no longer at the mercy of temporary feelings. Imagine a storm passing over a mountain. The mountain does not move, does not panic, and does not shout back at the thunder. It simply stands. That is what emotional control looks like. It is the strength to feel anger without letting it dominate you. It is the ability to experience fear, sadness, or disappointment, and yet remain in control of your actions. You don't punch walls. You don't lash out. You observe, you understand, and you act with intention. Marcus Aurelius, a man who ruled an empire and still struggled daily with his own thoughts, constantly reminded himself that we are disturbed not by events but by our judgments about them. If you can pause and choose your response instead of reacting blindly, you have already separated yourself from the crowd. Emotional control is what gives you clarity in chaos and patience in conflict. It protects your relationships, your goals, and your peace. It is not weakness to be calm, it is power. The man who can govern his own emotions is fit to govern anything. In mastering yourself, you free yourself from being a puppet of every passing mood. And that, in truth, is the foundation of real strength. Being comfortable in solitude is one of the most underrated signs of strength in a world that constantly glorifies noise, connection, and validation from others. The man who can sit alone with his thoughts without distraction or fear possesses a level of power that many never reach. Solitude is not loneliness. It is not a void to be feared. It is a sacred space where clarity is born. When you can be alone and at peace, you reveal that you are not dependent on others to feel complete. You are not seeking constant affirmation or chasing after approval. You are enough on your own. Marcus Aurelius often wrote to himself as a form of reflection, not needing an audience but using solitude to sharpen his mind. He understood that to lead others, one must first be able to lead oneself. When you're alone, there's no mask, no performance. Your thoughts are raw. And if you can endure that, if you can look within and face whatever arises, it shows you have cultivated inner resilience. Solitude is where growth begins. It's where discipline is built, where you train your mind to stay focused without needing the buzz of a crowd. It's where you start hearing your true voice, untainted by trends, opinions, or judgments. Most people run from solitude because they fear what they'll find. But a strong man embraces it, knowing that time alone is time spent forging the kind of strength that doesn't waver under pressure. This strength is subtle, quiet, and invisible to the masses, but it shapes everything. When you're comfortable in solitude, you're never truly alone because you have your own mind as company, grounded, unshaken, and free. This is the kind of strength that cannot be taken from you, no matter how loud the world becomes. A truly strong individual does not allow the behavior of others to disturb their peace. This is a discipline rooted in the core of Stoic philosophy. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." When someone insults you, ignores you, or treats you unfairly, the immediate reaction is often emotional: anger, frustration, or hurt. But reacting emotionally to someone else's actions gives them power over you. It means your inner state is controlled by external circumstances, and that is not strength. That is dependency. A strong person understands that they cannot control others, only themselves. They choose how to respond, not react. This doesn't mean they are passive or indifferent. It means they are deliberate. They observe, they assess, and they choose the path that best reflects their principles. When someone disrespects them, they do not beg for validation. They do not try to fix someone else's perception. They remain grounded, secure in who they are. This kind of emotional control takes discipline. It requires a deep sense of self-awareness and self-worth. The person who is not easily offended, who remains calm in the face of provocation, possesses a rare strength. They are not cold, but composed. Not weak, but wise. Their calmness is a shield, not a silence. This trait also builds trust and respect. People notice when you don't get flustered or drawn into drama. They see that your energy is not easily shaken, and they instinctively view you as someone with depth and resilience. In a world full of noise and reactivity, being unmoved by the actions of others is not just strength, it's mastery. And that is what separates the truly strong from the merely loud. True strength often lies in one's ability to walk away when something no longer serves their peace, growth, or purpose. It's not about being cold or indifferent. It's about recognizing that your time, energy, and emotional well-being are precious and not to be squandered on what diminishes you. In a world that romanticizes holding on, be it relationships, jobs, or familiar patterns, Stoic strength teaches the art of letting go with dignity. When a person is able to detach themselves from a situation that is draining or unworthy, it is a sign of immense inner strength. Most people stay because of fear of change, fear of loneliness, or fear of uncertainty. But the Stoic does not fear what they cannot control. They know that staying in a harmful or stagnant place is often far more damaging than the discomfort of walking away. This strength doesn't come from arrogance. It comes from clarity. The clarity to know your values, your limits, and your worth. It comes from understanding that enduring pain is not always noble if that pain leads nowhere. Walking away is an act of self-respect, not surrender. It is choosing growth over familiarity, wisdom over emotional chaos. The one who walks away does so not with bitterness but with calm resolution. They have learned to release what cannot be changed, and in doing so, they reclaim their power. This decision is rarely easy, but it is profoundly liberating. The moment you realize that your peace is more important than someone else's approval or validation is the moment you step into a new level of strength. In Stoicism, mastery over oneself is the highest goal. And there is no greater mastery than the discipline to walk away from what is not aligned with your higher self. Being strong is not about showing dominance or control over others. It's about how you carry yourself when no one is watching, and how you treat others when you have the upper hand. One of the most subtle yet profound signs of true strength is your ability to treat people with respect, especially those who have no power over you. In a world where many are quick to belittle or ignore those they deem unimportant, the strong remain grounded and kind. Stoicism teaches that we are all equal in nature, and no external status or possession truly elevates one person above another. What defines a man or woman of virtue is how they uphold justice, fairness, and dignity in every interaction. When you respect others, not because of what they can do for you, but simply because they are human, you demonstrate inner nobility. It shows that you are not swayed by ego, pride, or superficial labels. This kind of respect is not performative. It is quiet, consistent, and sincere. It doesn't depend on applause or recognition. It is shown in the way you speak to the waiter, the janitor, the stranger on the street. These moments might seem small, but they reveal the strength of your character more than any achievement or display of power ever could. Treating others with dignity, even when they have wronged you, takes discipline and self-control. It reflects a deep understanding that another person's behavior should not dictate your own. You don't lose anything by being respectful. Instead, you gain integrity and peace of mind. Ultimately, the strong do not seek to dominate, they seek to elevate. And in doing so, they inspire others to do the same, leaving a quiet but powerful legacy behind them. One of the most overlooked yet powerful signs of inner strength is the ability to forgive, not because someone deserves it, but because you refuse to carry the weight of resentment. Forgiveness is not weakness. It is the conscious choice to release yourself from the emotional chains of bitterness, revenge, and pain. In the teachings of Stoicism, we are reminded that external events, including the wrongs done to us, are beyond our control. What lies within our power is our response. Choosing to forgive does not mean you forget or excuse harmful behavior. It means you refuse to let that harm define you. It means you rise above the desire for vengeance, recognizing that holding on to anger only pollutes your own soul. Marcus Aurelius wrote that the best revenge is to be unlike those who cause the injury. In that spirit, forgiveness becomes a form of rebellion, a defiance of the emotional chaos others may try to impose on you. Strong people understand that forgiveness is a gift to themselves. It frees the mind from clutter and the heart from corrosion. It creates space for clarity, peace, and emotional growth. By forgiving, you take back control of your own narrative. You are no longer a victim defined by someone else's actions. You become a sovereign being, guided by principle rather than reaction. Forgiveness is a sign of great inner discipline. It requires humility to let go of your pride and courage to move forward without needing retribution. It reflects your deep commitment to your own mental and emotional well-being and your understanding that real strength lies not in punishing others, but in protecting your inner peace. In a world where grudges are glorified, to forgive quietly and walk forward with grace is a mark of true Stoic wisdom and personal mastery. Remember, strength is not something you shout. It's something you live. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one. Let your actions speak. Let your stillness thunder. Let your character be your shield. That is the Stoic way."